Holy shit, folks. This is Karen Kids Podcast, episode number 18 on that ass. My boy, Jose. Cheers, my guy.
What up, though? What's up, Dino? How are you?
Love it. Love it. It's the same cocktails last week. So I'm not going to go into what it is, but it's delicious.
Yeah, it's real good.
My man, how we doing?
Man, I'm doing good. Doing really good. Just got back from a small break.
Ooh, tell me about it.
Yeah, man. I decided to go back to San Diego.
San Diego.
San Diego. That, you know what? That city is very beautiful, bro.
I believe it means a whale's vagina.
Is that what it means?
Did you ever see Anchorman?
No.
That's where that's from. He's like, no, I think it's Saint Diego. Like,
Saint Diego. San Diego. Yeah, I think it is. Anyways,
tell me about it.
Yeah, it's super beautiful there, but there was I was supposed to go to Catalina Island, but so a week before my debit card was compromised.
Oh shit!
Right, and so I was like, fuck, and I do all these side jobs, and I put my cash in there, and that's what I use to go on breaks. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, fuck, I need to go take care of this. So I went to the bank. I got cash out because I was no longer able to use my card.
How do you think it got stolen?
So what I believe was it occurred when I went to go get Korean barbecue.
Oh shit, those fucking Korean people, they're a little shiesty sometimes. They could be a little, with their quick hands and shit, they be a little shiesty. Fucking around. Go ahead.
Oh my god.
Hey, they snap on the barbecue though. Korean barbecue.
Yeah. Their barbecue's fucking awesome.
Yeah, short rib.
Anyways.
Sorry, I threw you off there.
Yeah, you totally did. But anyway, so yeah, that's after I went there, it started. Why are you peaking so much, buddy? Take it easy, slow it down.
Yours?
Yeah, it's peaking like real crazy. I don't understand why. But so I went there and I ate. It was all good. And then like an hour later, I noticed there was a purchase at Target. I didn't notice that day. But when I went back to go check my account like 3 weeks later, I don't check it all the time.
Because you got so much money, you're not worried about it. Go ahead.
And so anyways, when I checked it, it was that same day about an hour later. And what happened was I went to go, I put my card into the machine. Mm-hmm. As soon as I put it in, the lady was like, it declined. I was like, well, that's crazy. And she's like, oh, let me see your card. Do you mind if I punch in the numbers? I was like, no, that's fine. That's how she got me.
Damn. Do you think they got those little machines, right? All they got to do is like throw it in there one time? Or do you think she like physically wrote down your numbers?
No, she didn't write it down. She typed it into there. She was doing some shit. I don't know what you call it. I don't know if her phone was on at the time and she watched, or you know what I mean?
And it's crazy. I bet you there's no repercussions for that. Like on their end, on the business end.
I don't know if there is or not, but I know I called the bank actually 3 weeks later. I'm like, hey, my card. But anyways, I was supposed to fly out like the next day when I noticed that my card was compromised. It actually took close to $900. Yeah, $40 here, $30 there, $65 here. And they were all Target purchases.
Damn, Target.
Yeah, all of them. Target purchases.
Do you know what the items were?
No, I have no idea.
Do you think it's like a certain amount they just test? Like, was it like $50 or was it like a...
It was always odd numbers, or not odd numbers, but it was like 3656, or
do you think they were smart enough to do that? Because if it was, let's say, $400, you would know, like, I didn't spend $400, right. But if you saw it on your account that something was like $72, you wouldn't really bat an eye at it.
That's exactly right.
Right?
And who doesn't go to Target?
Smart.
You know what I'm saying?
I actually don't go to Target.
You don't go to Target.
Not that I have something against it. I just literally don't go out that often.
Interesting. You don't go to Target, but you go out all the time.
Yes. Okay. My shit's gotten stolen before, and it was off a little sketchy ass internet. I was trying to buy tickets, and this was before it was like a little bit before everyone knew like some of these smaller websites can be a little shady, so I like was not really thinking of it. What I think happened was, so they had the page, you know, the homepage of buying the tickets.
Yeah.
So when I started entering my information, I think it was a fake page. So when I typed all my information, they seen it.
Yeah.
So when I hit enter, it said error, and I think that was like their way.
They got you.
They got me right there.
They got you right
so
there.
Something told me to check my bank account because I'm like you. I don't really check all the time.
Are you rich too?
I'm not paying.
Fucking rich.
It ain't tricking if you got it. But I started looking at it. And I'm like, something told me to just go through it. And so I started looking, and then I noticed a $343 charge, and that popped out at me because it's like, you know, when you spend a couple $100 on something, like that's immediately pops up. And then I started looking at it, and to the description, it said it had a phone number, it said TX, and it had a couple like, I forgot what the word was. I was like, that's so weird. And then the TX threw me. I was like, Texas.
Yeah.
So I call the number that's actually there.
Yeah.
And operator answers. I was like, you know, my debit card was used here. What company? Like, what is this?
Right.
She goes, oh, we're a Mac, like makeup. Oh. I was like, oh yeah, there's some fuckery going on. I'm like, I'm a man, and I don't buy makeup.
That means nothing nowadays.
Now, but this is before. This is when men were men and people weren't confused about gender.
What, like last Thursday?
Nah, this was actually no. This happened a good 8 years ago, I would say.
Oh, okay.
And so the lady, she goes, you know what? There was a red flag on on their end.
Oh wow! So they saw it too.
So yeah, there's something didn't match up. Probably it was like my debit card didn't match my address. I'm assuming that's what gave them. But they didn't say nothing. They of course they're waiting for me to say something. So she goes, oh, I'm gonna enter it in, blah blah blah. You'll have your money within 3 days. I go, all right. As soon as I got off the phone with her, I called Chase Bank.
Yeah.
And I told them the deal, and they're like, okay, we'll give them the 3 days. If they don't do their end, then we'll do our investigation. And then we'll give you. It was only, you know, thank God it was only a little bit of money, and so of course I got my money back quickly.
Yeah. That's exactly what I had to do. I had to go launch an investigation. I was like, I want who the fuck it is. I want to know their. No,
I want names. Yeah. I want family members.
Yep. Yeah, no, but it was nothing like that. But so then that occurred, right? Mm-hmm. And after that happened, the lady at the counter at the bank tells me, "Hey, do you know that your license is expired?"
Ooh.
I was like, "Oh shit! I fly out tomorrow, 4:30. DMV closed at 5,
and you have to make appointments.
And you have to make an appointment.
I've learned that the hard way."
So I was like, oh, well, I might not fly, but I'm still going to go to the airport and find out. So I made the mistake to go directly to TSA. They held me there for like an hour. Mm-hmm. And they asked me a bunch of questions. And then by the time I got on the flight, so first, my debit card stolen. Mm-hmm. 2, my license was expired. Mm-hmm. 3, TSA held me way too long. By the time I got to my airplane, it was backing out of the...
They fucked you.
They fucked me big time.
I know you see that fly. We got a fucking fly.
We got a pet, y'all. Everybody, we got a pet.
Jesus Christ, this bootleg ass place.
Yeah. So
no, it's not. Nah, don't fuck with them.
And anyways, so I missed my flight. So I go over to the next counter and I'm like, hey man, I missed my flight by like a minute. This and this happened. He's like, oh no worries. He hooked me up, gave me a ticket. I got on the next flight out, which was 2 hours later. So we get up in the air. I'm in the air. Finally, I'm in the airplane. I'm like, oh, cool. I finally got to fly. By this time, I'm 6 hours in.
Damn.
From the moment I wake up.
Holy fuck.
6 hours in. I get on the airplane. We take off. We're 2 hours in the air. All of a sudden, here's what happened. I get in the new plane, and the airplane starts to back away from the...
tarmac.
From the tarmac. Starts to back away. And it backs off the gate, and then we go wait at the tarmac before we take off. Then something's not working on the plane. They have to go back to the gate to reset some shit. I'm like, what the fuck? That was another hour and a half wait.
And you're already uncomfortable sitting on a small ass fucking plane.
7.5 hours. Yeah. So the big dude next to me had to buy 2 seats, so the middle seat was open.
The only thing worse than that would have been a crying baby on the plane at the same time.
Okay, well, I'm not done yet. I'm not done. I'm not done.
I'm inventing that fucking helmet. I'm inventing that helmet.
There's still more. So, anyways, there's the big dude. He's sitting next to me. I got the window seat, but his body's spewing into the middle seat, but far enough where I had my own space, which was good. And so we pull back in. They do their reset. The pilot comes over the intercom, says everything's good. We're about to take off. I'm like, great. Finally, I get to leave. 7.5 hours in. I'm like, fuck, man. We get onto the tarmac. We take off. We're in the air for 2 hours.
Okay.
Some commotion happens 2 seats in front of me. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? I see the lady stand up and she starts waving, looking all over the place. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? So I go up like this and I have to stand all the way up and I see the lady who's sitting in the aisle falling over, shaking. I'm like, oh, fuck. Now what?
In anger or like fainting?
No, she was having a seizure. Yeah, she was totally having a seizure.
Like foaming at the mouth?
I don't know. I saw her dreadlocks falling over. So I just see this big lady. Now, the pilot comes over the intercom and he's asking for a doctor. Dude, they actually
Is there a doctor on the
That's
plane?
exactly what went down. That's exactly what happened.
They're like, no, but I played one on TV.
And so 2 doctors actually get up. This badass lady and this badass dude. So these superheroes walk up to, they lay her down, and then, okay, now we're getting diverted to Phoenix, Arizona.
Okay.
I'm like, damn, how long is this fucking flight? Right? So that's...
Wow, sounds like a trip from fucking hell.
9 hours in, 9.5 hours in, we pull into Arizona. Mm-hmm. We're in Arizona for an hour and a half. Right? We finally take off. Finally land in San Diego. I was on the airplane for like 11 hours. My ass was flat. When I finally got up,
did they compensate you guys for anything? They give you some vouchers,
they
drink cards,
they
something?
Apologized.
Oh, who fucking cares?
They apologized, and they came around a second time with fucking drinks and crackers.
Oh, those cocksucker motherfuckers. They took 8 hours of your day like that.
Bro, 9.
Dude, they owe you a day's
11.
pay. That's $400 minimum. They should give you some kind of 50% off your next flight.
That would be awesome, but they didn't do that.
Because they don't give a fuck.
They don't care.
These motherfuckers. Dude, airports are getting shittier and shittier.
Yeah, it was pretty fucked up, man. And so, yeah, so I got to San Diego. So I wasn't able to go to Catalina Island, which was the reason why I was headed over there, right? Because they have timed ferries that head out. And by the time I got there, well, it was way too... I was supposed to be there at like 9 in the morning. Well, I didn't get in till like 6. So either way, whatever. I finally made it to San Diego. San Diego's beautiful. I hung out in San Diego. I drove out to like, it's called Rancho Cucamonga.
Ooh, I've heard of it.
The dude is fucking gorgeous out there. There's this giant mountain there's snow on it right now.
How was the weather?
It's beautiful.
Perfect, right?
Degrees.
California, if they have anything, they have the best climate.
They need water, though.
Yeah, they have a lot of droughts and dry. That's where all the fires and shit. Yeah, that's where all the fires and shit come from.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never been. I lied. I have been to San Diego, but I never really got to party and explore. Okay. I was only there for a short amount of time.
Well.
And, yeah. I did go to Laguna Beach, though.
Okay.
Which was fun.
Yeah.
It was a cool little town, little fucking rich area.
Okay.
And did you notice in San Diego that every third car is a Tesla?
Yes.
Isn't that fucking crazy? Yes. The amount of Teslas that are in... It's such a flex, a Californian flex.
Yeah, totally.
You know what I just learned?
What's that?
That some places... It costs $100 in electricity to fill up your car, or to charge up your car.
What's the point?
Exactly. So that's what they're saying. I'm a loosely. I just heard this one, so forgive me. That
doesn't make any sense.
And that's the whole dark secret of the electric car. It's here to save emissions and blah blah blah. But in order to charge, first off, in order to make those batteries, it takes. I just heard it in a podcast. It takes like 7 pounds of cobalt, 5 pounds of this thing, 30 pounds of that thing.
All these minerals
that are hard to get. All these fucking rare minerals.
Yeah, they're all hard to get. They all use slave labor to get them.
And exactly. And then to charge up that very car, you need electricity. Our electricity is what? It's fucking is it? It's not. We don't have coal power electricity, do we?
Not us. No, I think we. What are we on? We might be on nuclear.
Are we? Either way, it takes all that energy just to charge up those vehicles. So it's really, there's not a net positive. It might be a net negative having an electric car. That's the big secret.
So why are the politicians pushing so hard for, what is it? It's 2030, 2035 or something like that?
Yeah.
Where it's zero emission cars?
Maybe, I think it's because it might be just a popular idea and they're riding that wave and they're trying to get reelected. So they're like pushing all these things without, I don't know if they're thinking about the third and fourth, thing that comes after that.
Do they ever? And part of the reason is each politician comes in, right? They do their term, they do what they try to do. The next one undoes what they do, and we never get anywhere.
We've talked about this. Our politics are so fucked up. It doesn't make any sense.
Should we have longer terms?
And then that's a good question.
But it's a slippery slide.
Because what if you get the wrong guy in there?
And then we're China.
Dude, we're fucking getting closer and closer.
I think part of the reason why we're slipping into this this fucking regime, this government that's they want full control, is because it's like the balance is not equal on the spectrum of power as far as when you compare it to China. China has like all this power. The whoever is in charge, the president who's in charge, he has all this fucking power. He's been in for a while now. He can enact all this change over a long period of time. And our government, we get a leader in there. He's only in there for a short amount of time, and his policies have to fit into the time scale of his servitude.
Right.
So he doesn't have enough time to get to everything. But if we make it any longer, and what if our president is Trump again, and then we make it, 16 years or whatever, well, 2 more years, whatever it is, and he received all this hate and all this polarization with America, how bad would we be? It's weird. How do we balance this?
Well, that's why the president doesn't nearly have as much sway as you think.
Right. Well, we have, what is it? It's the House, right?
It's
3 branches of government.
Oh, the judicial, we got, oh God, I'm going to look like a fucking moron right here. We got judicial.
The president.
We got, I'm blanking.
House, cabinet. Whatever.
No, they have, we're so fucking smart here, guys. Yeah. We're geniuses here.
Don't listen to us.
No, but that's why the president doesn't even know all the shit, because you got some of these like generals and some of these cabinet members who've been in Congress, for 25, 30 years. They're not going to give all the secrets away to some dude who's only going to be there for 4 to 8 years.
Yeah,
exactly. They can't even imagine if they
That's an argument for the deep state.
Right, agreed. Imagine if, let's say, Trump knew everything that there is to know. He probably started slipping and started telling some people some shit. So they purposely just for him, he's the exact reason why you don't divulge 100% of it. Because he might be like, oh, we've been visited by aliens. They've been here for years.
No, you got to do it in the voice.
I can't do it.
Come on.
Hey, did you see Eddie Murphy's not Eddie Murphy, Jamie Foxx's version of Trump? Listen, I didn't see it. I heard it.
Yeah.
If they didn't
you thought it was Trump.
If they didn't tell me that was Jamie Foxx, I would have never fucking knew it was Jamie Foxx. Yeah. Now, of course, is it 100% Trump? I probably could have got fooled if I would have just heard him talking and they didn't say like they were egging it on like it was a fake Trump.
Yeah.
But Jamie Foxx might have the best. The second best is Shane Gillis, I think.
Okay.
Shane Gillis is a fucking good one. and you know what? Actually, Shane did a good
he's killing it.
He did a good comparison of like their he said that Jamie Foxx is better at just normal speech, like regular talking, but Shane Gillis is better at like I forgot how he said how he talks. It's like two different types of Trump talk. One's more of just conversational. One's like telling you how it is or something. It's like a difference, and they're both really good. Trump, it's so fucking funny. That shit's so funny to me.
Yeah, like when there's like when people do what is it they impersonate somebody.
Yeah,
Okay, so when they impersonate somebody, some people can only do phrases that the person has already said.
Because they're like parakeets and they can hear it and they can replicate it. But then to have I'm sorry, I cut you off. To have organic conversation is different.
It's very different
because you got to know how they say. You have to almost get into their mind, and then you can start doing all the. You know how they say their vowels and how they space out. Yep. And Shane Gillis is good. He does it, and he'll do the. And
he's amazing, man.
And you got it's pitches. It's like he's the greatest, and then like they go up and down with it.
That sounded pretty good to me, man.
It's not good.
Come on,
it's not good.
Yeah, dude. So
tell me about the food. What'd you eat over there?
So
you have some nice sushi.
You know what? I didn't have sushi. I had sushi the last time I was there.
Damn, your shit peaks a lot.
Yeah, I don't understand why it's doing that. Here, yeah.
And I noticed my camera has that square on my face. How do we stop that?
I don't know.
Because the other ones don't have it.
Yeah.
Or yours does have it.
Oh, why are you doing that, dude?
Yeah, it's annoying. Because it's going to show up on...
I don't think it will.
Okay, hopefully not.
No,
Fingers crossed.
I don't think it will.
We're still figuring this shit out, folks.
But you know what I see? Your head's getting cut off over there. So I'm going to fix that.
Maybe because I was sitting down... Yeah, we're figuring this shit out. We just got some new cameras. Hopefully this looks a little better. Yeah. We're trying to do the damn thing. We're only 18 episodes in. By 50, we'll be pros.
3 years into this, bro.
Yeah. This is fun, by the way. I enjoy doing this, and I really wish I had a fucking full cocktail, but I don't.
Well, this one's mine. So anyways, yeah.
We need a bartender. If anyone wants to be a free bartender...
Yeah, come on down, hang out.
We don't have any money to pay you.
You could drink.
You probably won't even be on camera or be heard.
Yeah, you'll hang out with us. Come on, hang out.
But we like you anyways.
Yeah. So I didn't have sushi, but we found this small little place at this. It's called Liberty Station. It's like right off the ocean there.
Sounds fucking American as fuck.
Bro, they took I don't know if it was the Navy or it had to have been, it's either the Navy or the Air Force had a base there. And it's no longer that. I guess part of it might be, but this area is old enough to where they released it to like the city, and the city turned it into a mall. And it's not like a mall where it's like a commercial style mall. It's more like they're like mom and pop shops. So
I like that.
Yeah, it was pretty damn cool. There's no Chipotle or anything like that, but there was a Mexican restaurant there. And being so close to Mexico, the food was amazing.
On point.
I had these tacos. I ordered a few things just to taste, and I ended up eating all of it. If you can tell. And so
you don't look like someone who shies away from a meal.
Fuck no, bro. I fucked up every fucking taco they put in front of my face.
Do you have cocktails?
No, I didn't have a chance.
Did I kick it?
Yeah. I didn't have a chance, man. I was only there for 4 days. It was pretty quick, but a lot of it, I did a lot of driving. I got on a kayak.
Sounds like to me that you had 4 days to have cocktails.
Yeah, you're right. Did I have a cocktail?
I force you to drink more than you probably like to drink.
Yeah. I enjoy drinking with somebody, but I'm not going to drink by myself.
Well, yeah, that's a problem, drinking by yourself.
I just won't do it. But this is fun.
Did you rent a car, or how'd you get around?
Yeah, I had a car there.
You should have rented a Tesla.
No, Toyota.
Fit right in.
Toyota Corolla.
Woo! That was my first car. I had a 96 Toyota Corolla. That shit was clean as fuck, boy. I got it for $3,000.
Okay. How'd you get it?
Actually, my mom, shout out to Kathy G. She bought it for me in high school. She's like, I'll buy you the car, but I'm not giving you any other money. So it's like, you got to pay for your insurance and gas and all that.
You fix that motherfucker when it goes down.
Right. But you know what? My uncle, he's been in the car game for my entire life.
My car game. He's a mechanic.
No, he sells cars.
Oh,
He was
shit.
at Toyota. Was he at Toyota? Wait, no. Where was he at? No, he was at Honda forever.
Okay.
And this Corolla came into on his came to whatever.
Somebody traded it in.
Yeah, the Honda
was
dealership
available
bought
to
it.
you.
He called my mom and said, "Listen, this car is clean as fuck."
Okay. And in high school, you're driving around a Toyota. Wow.
And he's like, "You need to get this." So my mom put up $3,000. It was beige. It was clean. The best thing about it was the air conditioning. It was crazy how cold and how strong it was. I was like, dude. And then the inside, everything was well kept. It had a decent amount of miles, but it was all highway miles.
Okay.
So, anyways, got it. I ended up loving the car. It was perfect first little car. Okay. I sold it like 3 years later to a homie for like $2,400.
Oh, cool.
Just lost $600 in 3 years.
3 years, yeah, that's pretty damn good.
So I didn't get to keep the money. My mom and brother, actually, my mom and brother bought the car.
So they took it back.
And they
were like, "You owe me $400."
Nah, they were happy to get that much. My boy ended up just using it as a fucking trap vehicle, but.
Okay.
Yeah, it was clean, man. It was a good car, good Corolla. I love it.
Yeah, my first car I thought was cool at the time. 2 years later, it's a piece of shit. It still worked and all that. It was a Chevy Cavalier, horrible car.
That was the first car I drove.
Okay.
My brother's girlfriend.
I'm ashamed to say, by the way.
My brother's girlfriend at the time had one, and I was like 14.
Okay.
And she's like, "You want to drive?" I was like, "Sure." I took it around the block. It was like a giant go-kart. It was fucking easy.
That's what it is.
It gave me confidence, like going into my driver's test, that I knew what the fuck I was doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Crazy.
eventually, I'm gonna have to go get my license. It's expired.
Oh, okay.
Your boy's driving dirty.
Oh shit! You know what? I before, because it expired on my birthday. That was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And so before I went to New Orleans, I had to get my license. When I went there, I went after work. I got out of work early. I actually got out of work like 2 hours early. I was like, perfect. I get to go basically get my license on the clock, right? So I show up to the place and they're like, "Oh, you got an appointment?" I was like, "Nah." They're like, "All right, here's a number. Call this and make an appointment or go online." I go, of course, that place doesn't have any more appointments. I go, okay. I talk to the guy. He goes, if you go to this place, he gave me another place that was 45 minutes away. He's like, "That's walk-ins." I go, cool. Boom. I drive 45 minutes, get there. I see a line. I see guys saying, "Okay, this appointment." I'm like, "Oh, what the?" He's like, "You need an appointment for here." I go, "What the fuck? This guy just told me I don't need an appointment for here." So I go there, I look online, call, no appointments. I go, "What the fuck?" So I start scrolling through, and then I find a place on the south side, and it was like, it had an available appointment. So I go, boom, I book it. All that, and so I book it, it was fine. It was like another hour later. So or actually it was 2 hours later. So I drove home, then drove another 40. To get my license was like a 4-hour ordeal.
Yeah, so right now I'm trying to get my license. I've been trying to get my license since I got back, but they're so backed up, you don't even have the option to make an appointment. So your boy's driving real dirty.
Damn. I will say this, though. Although the appointments are a little bit of pain in the ass, it does make the fucking process so much faster because there's not 200 people in there. There's only, I think it's every like a half hour or 45 minutes. There's like a new window of people, and it's pretty much like, I don't know, 20 or 30 or 40 people are allowed. Okay. So it goes, I have to admit, when my appointment was called, by the time I stood in the line and walked out was probably 15 to 20 minutes.
Oh,
so that was a awesome solid thing, yeah. And I fucked up a little bit because, so when I had my license, I didn't have glasses. So now I kind of wear glasses for more distance. They're really weak. They're not that strong, but they're really good for like nighttime driving and stuff. So I walked up in there with my glasses on. She goes, "Oh, we're waving." And I did that. I wore my glasses. I thought about this because they told me I have to take my eye test. I think I had to take an eye test and driver's test.
Okay.
And so I was like, fuck it, I don't want to like fail the vision or anything, so I'll just wear my glasses. And then I was trying to avoid having them put that I wear glasses on my license,
right?
So that if I get pulled over and I don't have them on, it's not going to be an issue. It's not something they can ding me on.
Right.
So she's like, oh, so she goes, oh, we're waiving all the tests right now. I go, oh, okay. She goes, oh, you're wearing glasses though. I go, oh yeah, but I don't really need them. She goes, but you're wearing them. I was like, fuck. So I fucked myself by wearing them, but it is what it is. I had to just look at the thing and I passed it in 2 seconds.
Okay. Cool.
But I drive with my glasses anyways, a majority of the time. So
yeah,
it is what it is.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what's going to go down with when I have to eventually get my license, see what happens, because I did try to make an appointment, but I can't because there's none available. So
but you got to look at all of them. What I seen was I tried to pick a certain time, and then it gave me all the available places that had that time. So you gotta look at it again. There's got to be some places that'll do it quicker.
So it told me they're so backed up that they're not taking appointments right now. So there's that. Anyways, I'm going fishing tomorrow.
Oh shit! For some chicks or
no, for fish, actual fish.
What are we going for? We doing deep sea? We doing little canoe?
Yeah, I'm going up north into Wisconsin, and hopefully I can catch me some northern
what, pike?
Northern pike.
Damn, I don't even know how I even knew that because I don't know shit about fish.
You know something. He said
but
pike.
Do you eat them?
I'm not. I'm throwing back.
Okay, let's talk about that. Okay. How weird is that? Okay,
weird.
So let's take a fish out of its environment. Let's damage it. It gets hooked in the mouth.
Okay.
It gets yanked out.
Yep.
Then we look at it, and then we throw it back in there. Okay. Now that fish is at a disadvantage because it's got a hole in its goddamn mouth. Yep. And now it's thrown back out there. So it's like a weird torture. It's kind of like the idea of alien abductions.
Right.
That's where they come here and they pluck us out of our environment and they just put us back. Yeah. It's so violating. Do you think that they even have a concept of like what the fuck is going on, or is it just all reaction?
How could you actually know for sure?
True.
You know, they say
how do we know anything about any animals? Like they're like, oh, a dog only sees in black and white. Well, how the fuck do we know that?
I don't know. Somebody asked it.
Right? I'm always questioning these things. It's like, how do we fucking really know?
Yeah.
We have good assumptions.
In a Scooby voice?
I know. It's fucking...
Rock and see.
I'm waiting for the day they fucking hook something up to their neck and then you can hear them talking when they bark.
What are they going to say?
I picture it's real simple shit like, hey!
Food.
Hungry.
Food. Walk. Bath.
Yeah.
Treat. I don't like that motherfucker.
Treat. Yeah.
Yeah. Break up with her.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. So as far as the fish goes, you put a worm on a hook, drop it into the water, you trick the fish into eating it, he grabs it, you snatch him out of his world, put him into your plane.
And what do you get out of it?
I tricked the motherfucker.
I tricked the dumbest thing possible. Gotcha, bitch.
You got you, bitch.
Damn. Well, are you at least gonna like drink and stuff? What's your plans?
Probably.
Okay, who are you going with?
My cousin.
Just you two?
Yeah, my cousin he lives out in Wisconsin, and there's a bunch of lakes out there, and there's a bunch of fish out there, and we're gonna go out there and just hang out the whole weekend.
Are you gonna get on a canoe?
Yes, I'm bringing my canoe.
Remember Tommy Boy's like, need a little wind here. Like, hey, Flardo. Did Gilligan eat Skipper?
There's so many great movies. I was talking about the Roxbury earlier today.
Oh, Night at Roxbury, dude. Legendary.
Yeah, dude, one of the greatest movies of all time. Fucking great.
Hey, Dewey, you just touch my ass?
No.
He's like, Dewey, you touch my ass. I know your tricks, Dewey. He's like, sir, from where I'm standing, it's impossible, or what is this? Whatever he said.
Yeah.
It's been so long, man. That's actually like, that was when Will Ferrell and Chris Kattan were at the height of their SNL.
Bro. Yeah.
Right? Ah, dude, that's such a young... Will Ferrell, man, he oozes fucking comedy. Like, no matter what he says, it's funny.
Right.
And then when he takes his shirt off and he does, like, those kind of jokes, it's so funny, dude.
Yeah, he's hilarious in a real silly way.
Yeah, he'd be like a man. I'd love to hang out with like a dude like that who's just.
Oh my God!
What do we got going on there? What happened there?
I don't know.
Oh no, turn back on.
Okay.
We're good. Maybe it was just a little fucking.
What are you doing? Little camera?
Maybe it died, but it shouldn't have, dude. No way.
My battery's full on this side. Battery's full right there. What's happening over there? Do you want to check or what? We could just continue from where we left off here. We'll just leave it running, and I will keep it in the same. Yep. Close it and reopen it and see what happens.
How did this die?
I have no idea.
No, the battery's dead.
Okay, that's all right. We still have that camera that's on you. I don't know. Maybe that battery.
Maybe I didn't have. There was one that I might have not have fully charged. Oh
Okay, well,
but we're all good.
We're good there. We're good right here.
Anyways,
So yeah. So anyways, yeah. Imagine being pulled out of your reality into a different reality. Do you think that fish even have the capacity to be able to understand that they're being plucked out of their world into another one? I mean, they have to, right? Because they can't.
I don't think they have
breathe
enough,
this kind of air.
I don't think
to
they have
process water.
self-awareness of like.
How do you know though? How
Yeah.
would we know? Like, what are some of the things that you would look for to be able to even figure out what self-awareness actually is? Right?
Good question.
Yeah. Why don't we eat babies?
What do you mean?
No, I'm just questions. I'm just asking questions. You know, just to kind of help figure out where we stand in life.
Do you think that there are alien bases in the oceans? That's like a good leading theory that's where a lot of them are.
You know what? Honestly, the whole reason why I wanted to go to Catalina Island is because that's where the famous story of the Nimitz. That's where the alien, the Tic Tac alien, was captured off the coast. They say that is the most. The area with the most sightings of that Tic Tac, that actually flies upwards and takes off that way.
Gotcha. You know, that's funny because I was just talking about with my girl saying that, like, I would honestly like to take a trip to a place with the sole purpose of trying to see a UFO.
Okay.
Like, go to a place that's like that has a lot of, and in California seems to be one of those places where they have a lot of sighting.
It's hot there, California and Nevada.
And yeah, do you think it's because there's a lot of mountains? There's a lot of like deserts, so they're like they can kind of maneuver.
From what I've heard, I actually feel like there is an underwater base off the coast of Catalina Island, San Diego, in that area. I think there's a base there because they watched it go into the water.
It would.
They have footage.
Obviously, if an alien race made it here, they're smart. So they've probably done research on us. They know that we don't spend any time in the ocean like that.
But what makes you think that they are intelligent?
What, aliens?
Yeah. Why would you think they're intelligent?
Because they made it here. They chose this planet and this species to like. They would have to be. They would have to be more intelligent than us.
I don't know if that's true because, like, there can be an animal that's far from its habitat that wanders into another habitat, and he doesn't have any consciousness or knows what he's doing. He's just following food. And it's possible that these aliens are.
Yeah, but in order to like do space travel, so complicated.
But so is swimming, and fish do it.
Yeah, nah, but they were born in it. They don't got to change their environment.
Is it possible that the aliens could be born in some plane that allows them to jump through, I don't know, portals or wormholes or what other?
Well, it's probably going to be hard to even imagine, but just imagine a race or a species that's 1,000,000 years older, or like a planet that's 1,000,000 years older that didn't get fucked with, and they had 1,000,000 years more of technology and evolution. Like, we can't even fathom what that's gonna be like.
Yeah.
They could probably totally change just all physics and all our little understanding.
They might not even be carbon based.
I bet honestly, like we know 5% of everything that there is to know, or not even. You know what I'm saying? Like I guarantee we have so much shit still to learn, and that we're still like these dumb little monkeys, basically.
Well, the simple fact is, like, we have the ocean right there, and 70% of it has never been studied,
or more. I think it's more than that, but it would make. And I've heard that too. I've seen people say around a lot of the coastlines, there's a lot of UFO. I even seen a documentary which was all about water sightings.
Okay.
And they go from air to water, super seamless.
Right.
But how much of that is our technology?
Yeah.
Exactly. I don't think we should be naive to think that a lot of the shit that we see is our own. It actually makes the most amount of sense.
Well,
what makes more sense, that a planet light years away came here and shown us, or our own military finally came up with some shit that can do that? And it's probably not man-made. It's probably flown. So I think that makes more sense. That it. Not saying that UFOs aren't real. I mean, I kind of do think that there is shit that's been here, but I bet you a lot of the shit, especially the shit, I feel like we're seeing more and more sightings. I think it's some governmental shit. They're testing. Yeah, they definitely have something. I just don't know.
Yeah, I'm truly starting to believe that the fact is that it is government based. Right, because there are so many military installments in California.
Right.
Not only are there so many installments, they've been there for a very long time.
Imagine all the ones that we don't know about. There's got to be bases and underground shit that we have no clue about.
Think about this. We have what's called sonar. And sonar, they're able to send a pulse into the water, and this wave in the water captures everything around for miles. Now, if there was an alien base in the water, do you not think that they can send a pulse that allows them to read all of the right angles, circular, all the angles on a base that's alien? Or when the Tic Tac went in, they would not send out a pulse that would read everything?
I know what you're saying, but don't you think that if there was a species smart enough to create a base in our ocean, that they would also be smart enough to deflect all those radars?
Well, here's what I'm saying. How do we actually know that they are a smart race? What if it's just a function of their lifestyle, that they are just these bumbling fools like fish, but they are able to, rather than swim through water, they're able to swim through wormholes or portals or jump through time, and they're just these stupid fish or jellyfish or whatever the fuck they are, but they have the ability, like fish, where they can inhale water and process it through their gills and get oxygen into their lungs. Or wait, do they have lungs? Their gills.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I don't think... I think your level of awareness and capability and smartness to even get here, like, it's not like a fish will ever... It's not like, okay, think about this. Most humans, all humans, couldn't even figure out how to get to another planet right now.
Right.
Okay, we're not dumb. So, like, in order to figure out space travel and to figure out camouflage, how to not be found and immediately destroyed, because I'm sure we have all types of defense systems and all types of shit. If we see something in the sky, I would guess we're going to shoot it out of the sky, because we're going to try to make, what's it called? They have some dialogue with them, try to fucking get them. They're not going to respond. Then we're going to try to shoot at it. And there's conspiracies, and there's some videos of supposedly that we've had some laser beams already try to shoot some UFOs out of space. and it was like on a NASA footage, but people back and forth whether it was actually a laser beam or dust in the space, whatever. But if they're smart enough to come check us out, they're way past. Dude, they're so much smarter than us that they are probably. I think we're still just so early on in our brain development. Right. I think that we're still a little tadpole. We're not even close to the frog yet. You know what I'm saying? And I think we're still got all the domination attributes. We still got like, I want to control people. I want to own them. I want to tell them what to do. I think after years of evolution, you lose all that. You become they could probably be so evolved that they think as a one hive mentality. The entire race or their whole planet thinks like ants. They're all in it together, you know. And we're already so far away from that. So I think if they came here, man, there's no chance that they don't know exactly what the fuck they're doing. And I don't know, you know what I'm saying?
Here's what I think. Honestly, look, you could take all of our 86 billion neurons and try to put all your power to try and figure this out. But how can you if we are a very young species, right? In the spectrum of eternity, right? When we use eternity as a measurement, we're super young. And if there is a race out there, if there's a race out there, you have to imagine that there are others, right? And they live amongst other species and they eat certain things, right? Because with our mental capacity, all we have to measure is what we've seen where we live, this plane of existence, right? But outside of this plane of existence, it's infinity. Infinity means there is no end. It's like taking a grain of sand, right? Every day of your life and putting it into a cup. And a million years later, you still haven't finished fitting a beach onto the cup. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's forever, ever, and ever, 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 and ever. And so with our simple capacity of how long have we been on this planet in comparison to the scale of the billions of years, like our intelligence has only lasted as long as calamity hasn't occurred to us. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know, there's been extinctions on the planet. They say something like 50. But what if there's a place that doesn't have to deal with
asteroids? Exactly.
You know, what if there's a place that's so protected that they're a race and they're peaceful? And it is a possibility, because if there is an infinity, there has to be this too. Whatever you think up has to exist somewhere out there. There's another you, there's another me doing exactly what we're doing. But maybe, I don't know.
Okay, so I'm going to piggyback on that. This is a thought that I haven't fully formed, but I was toying with it. So we think of our thoughts as like, whatever our thoughts. What if our brain and our thoughts, so let's say you're driving and you turn left. In your mind, you're like, what if I would have turned right? But what if that thought is really in another dimension and you did go right? So every thought that you have is actually another reality in a different. So we think of thoughts and memories and we think of these and future things. But what if that is really us doing that in the other dimension, but we never follow it? So let's say you're in their car and you're like, I gotta go left. But in your mind, you went right. But you only think about that for like half a second. What if obviously you're in a car, so that's maybe not the best, but what if you got to play with the idea of right and you lived it out for 5 more minutes? You know what I'm saying? So I was trying to think of like, what if those, because I think about that, like I'll think of just things like, what if something could have went wrong?
Yeah.
Whatever that law is, there's some Murphy's Law or whatever, something. Chances are another reality that did go wrong. That thing happened. You know what I'm saying? So, like you were saying, there's infinity. Apparently, there's a theory that there's infinite amount of you and me having this conversation. There are so many planets. There's that many, and all the different types of things that could be happening. That me and you are having this conversation on another planet. That's so wild to even think about. But that's where you start getting to the different multiverses, and you're starting to hear about that a little bit more.
Yeah.
Did you see that movie Everything Everywhere All at Once?
No, I never heard of it.
Highly recommend it. Okay, so I think it was a Chinese company that made it. Not 1,000%. There's a lot of Asians in the movie, so maybe I'm whatever being racist, but
watch your debit cards.
The Asian kid from the Goonies, he's in it. The fucking
Data.
Okay, exactly. Mm-hmm. And what's funny is there's parts in the movie where he raises his voice, and it's this. He put like his child voice. It's the same. It sounds the exact same. Anyways, the movie's great. It has what's her name? Famous actress. She was in one of the Halloween movies. What's her name?
In the Halloween movie?
Yeah, she was in the Halloween 2.0.
Jamie Lee Curtis?
Exactly. She's in this movie. She wears like a fat suit.
Okay.
So
by the way, when she was young,
hot, right? Oh, she was hot in Liar Liar. Oh no, it wasn't that
True Lies.
True Lie. There you go.
Whoa.
But the movie, I don't want to give too much away because I think it's a multiverse movie. It happens. So things happen in the multiverse.
I'm intrigued.
Honestly, it's one of the best. It's just so I love the originality of it. I was just talking recently. Movies fucking suck nowadays. I feel like they're just how many fucking Spider-Mans do we need? They're just revamping old ideas.
That's also string theory, right?
So this movie is original. The action scenes are amazing. They do different camera angles. They're showing new techniques that I loved it. Like the action scenes look different. Like they're trying new angles and what are they like? They're catching more motion in a frame versus like quick cuts. You know what I'm saying? So they're moving the camera in certain ways and they're doing certain things. It's a great movie. It's a multiverse, and I don't want to give too much away. But
what's the name of it again?
Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
All right, so folks, go out there and watch that movie.
Highly recommend it. I watched a bootleg. To be fair, it was a great copy online.
We don't watch bootleg.
No, I do. I pirate that shit.
We don't do that.
I do that. But it was a great copy. It was awesome. I heard it in a podcast. Someone said it just like that. Watch the movie. I don't want to give any of it away.
Okay.
Because it hit me. I was like, this is a cool movie. Great concept, and I just love that it was different. There's no other movie like it. It's not shot the same. There is no like reoccurring. It's good. There's a little bit of comedy in it. Good action.
Okay.
And
does Jamie Lee Curtis show off her body?
No, it's the opposite. She looks really. You won't even know it's her.
Wow.
You're gonna know it's her now that I said it.
Okay.
But it would take. You'd be like, is that her?
Yeah.
You're like, oh fuck, that is her.
Yeah.
She's wearing like a little fat suit, and she's like she plays an auditor, and there's like they have a little store, they have a little I think it's a laundromat, and she's like an IRS auditor or whatever, and it's a great movie and it's interesting, and anyways, but the multiverse thing is interesting. I don't know like a lot about it. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that I know. But I was toying with that idea with thoughts and being is our thoughts really just another multiverse? It happens there, you know.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Do you remember the Choose Your Own Adventure books?
Yeah, I didn't do a lot of them, but I know exactly. Like if you said yes, go to page 23.
Exactly.
And then you jump it over. Yeah.
Do you ever think about like in your life? Had you way back, I don't know, in high school made a different decision where you would be today?
Dude, 100%. So that goes into the next question. Is it fate, or are you in charge of your own destiny?
Wow. I think it's a little bit of both, I
agree. I think it's both. I think everything you've ever could do would be played out. So like, I think we have. All right, you ever play like it's the same thing as that book. There's role-playing games where you could do A, B, or C. I think it's all mapped out, but we still can choose certain things in certain times, and it'll branch off. Instead of going straight, you did this thing, and now you're slightly veering off to the right. You know, so I think that I think it's both too. I think that we have choices, and those choices, I think the fate part of it is like all of it's already been mapped out. You still got to choose the path to go to it. You know.
Right. I was thinking when I was in California, I was thinking about, wow, like all my decisions have led me to this point. And what do I do next? Mm-hmm. Like, what is my next move? I want to make sure I make the right move, because in my life, I've lost certain people, mm-hmm. right? I stopped talking to certain people. Like, I met new people, and some people just faded out. And I wonder about some friends that were like really good friends, but I don't longer talk to them. And I'm like, why don't I any longer talk to them? Like, why does this happen? You know what I mean? Like, mm-hmm. I was just thinking about like how in my life, how do you know you make the right decision for whatever it is that's occurring next? Like, and I was driving, and I had these thoughts. I was like, wow, the decisions that I've made up until this point has brought me here. What is next? And I kind of got a little bit of a panic attack, and I started feeling nauseous.
Right. Well, that's what I was going to say. You can't overthink those things. It's kind of like, I think there's an old expression like, something with the centipede doesn't think about which leg's gonna move next, because it'll stop in its tracks if you're overthinking.
Yeah.
So I think with a lot of things, you're never gonna be able to plan it out 100%. I think there's that whole like you gotta learn. You only learn from mistakes, really, you know. So you have to just make that choice and do that thing because you were supposed to do that thing. You're supposed to. I kind of think of that like you're supposed to learn certain lessons at certain times. I think certain things happen to you at certain times, and at the moment it's always shitty. But then when you get past that, you're like, oh, I needed that to happen because it put me on this other place. But you could have never told yourself when you were 12 or 13 or 14 that you're going to be a painter one day, and this is what you got to do to be a painter. You know what I'm saying? Like, all your life is so it all happened kind of for that reason to put you in this place. And I think people come in and out of your life for the same reason. It's like you're supposed to learn what you're supposed to learn from this person, and you know, your energy and your vibe. If you're meant to be together, then you'll meet. Like, I have friends that I don't see all the time, but we're so tight that we still know we're brothers, and we'll pick up, even though it might be 4 months I haven't seen the person, but we'll pick up exactly where we left off. You know, life happens and shit happens, and you know, so
I just felt like, dude, like if I make a certain choice, I had that feeling like my next choice is going to change like the rest of my life. And am I ready to change the life that I built up until this point? Like, I'm like, what?
You can't be afraid to change, though. I think that we all do that. We all want to be comfortable. We all want to know what's going to happen next. We all want that assurance. But I think the magic happens when you don't know what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that is exactly true. Because you never know what you're missing out until you actually get
right.
there.
And you tend to get older, and you kind of get stuck in your ways, and that's why you're always like hating the younger generation because you don't get it. You know, it's like that's why I think it's very important to just always do different shit. Today it's funny that we're even talking about this because I walked my dog earlier, and I walked him I usually go like the same kind of routes. I literally just went the total opposite way, where instead of going right out of the house, I went left. And I was just like noticing, like, it just felt a little different. It was just weird how I even felt. I was like, why does this feel weird to be doing something different? But I'm like, I think that's important. I think we get too stuck into like taking the same way to work. You do the same job. You talk to the same people. You eat the same foods. And like, the monotony is what ends up killing you, I think.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, most times, yes.
And I think that's why older people, not like a 70-year-old now is not the same 70-year-old 40 years ago.
No.
Not even close. No. I see how old is Mick Jagger? Did we talk about this last time?
Yeah, Mick Jagger's 74. 74, 76.
Are you kidding me? 76 was the graveyard 20 years ago.
Yeah.
You know? So I just think now, because now old people are on the internet and they see like, oh, I could learn a new thing. I could do this new thing, or I could find this new group. I could, you know what I'm saying? I think that's what keeps you. I think that's what the key to longevity is always exercising your brain, exercising your muscles. It's like all that is, and now we learn so much more about diet and recovery and hyperbolic chambers and saunas. Now we're just so far along, you know?
Yeah, challenge.
Exactly.
Challenge your mind, challenge your body, challenge your attitude,
it's
challenge
muscle.
everything.
It's like your muscles. You want your muscles to grow, you have to fucking work them out. You have to, in your mind, and I think your spirit's the same thing. Your spirit's like it's a metaphor for a muscle, you know, so you have to keep it going.
Yeah. Otherwise it seizes and then it ceases to exist.
If you don't use it, you lose it.
That's exactly right.
If I learned anything from 40-Year-Old Virgin, it was that. How funny was that movie? When's the last time you've seen that movie?
I've never seen that movie.
Shut the fuck.
I swear I've never seen that movie.
Yeah.
I've never seen it. I'm sorry.
It's not only was it hilarious when it came out, but when you watch it like a little bit, I think I was in maybe high school when it came out. I think I was in high school when it came out. So of course I got the jokes and I got it, but it's more funny when I watched it later on in life. Like I think I just watched it last year or something.
Okay.
It's so funny. And all those, okay, spoiler, I'll ruin one scene for you.
Okay.
There's a scene where Steve Carell is getting his chest waxed. He's doing it for a chick. He wants to look clean.
Yeah.
They really waxed him. They really did that scene. Fuck. So he was really bleeding. And so all his little reactions were off the cuff. So those weren't like scripted. It's pretty funny.
This is the scene where he screams Kelly Clarkson.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I have seen like little shorts.
And you could see the other actor's face, and that's their real reaction to it.
Yeah. That makes it great. Like movies like that.
Right? Yeah, the authenticity when you see them break a little character or something. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a movie that is called The Unfortunate Event or Lemony Snicket's something like that.
Yeah.
Well, at the end of the movie, there's a small like director's cut scene or like interview or whatever it is. But anyways, the director says that Jim Carrey ad-libbed that whole movie.
Really?
Yeah. The character, the things he said, everything was on. He just made it up as he went. And it's incredible that when you watch the movie, it's not such a big deal. But after you see and hear that, and then you go back and watch it again, you're like, how? How much talent is in certain individuals that they can do these amazing things.
Yeah.
And we all have the capacity.
Oh, he's amazing. There was an interview where I think he was doing some kind of red carpet event, and it's a pretty famous clip, and because it shows his wokeness, and in a good way, not the bad, the original woke definition, not what it is now. But they're like, so the chick was like, Jim, nice to see you. He had this purple, he had a kind of badass blazer on. And he walks up. She's like, "Oh, what are you wearing?" He's like, and he just starts going like, he's like, "I'm fine." He's like, "I just wanted to come to the most meaningless event. I thought to myself, what's the most meaningless thing I could do today?" He's like, "I come here." She goes, "Oh no, what are you talking about? I got all celebrities here." He's like, "This doesn't mean anything." And he goes into this whole thing, and I was like, he has a real motherfucker right there. You could tell he had like this philosophicalness about and people called him crazy and they were trying to knock him, but he was just keeping it real. Like, Hollywood's this fake ass little thing. Those events are even faker. Everyone talks to each other even faker. It's like they just fake on top of fake, and he was just calling it out for what it was. It was a really good. I suggest finding that clip. It's good.
What a life that guy has led. You know what I mean? Like, I think what happened was like an ex-girlfriend or wife committed suicide, and it like changed his whole mentality for what living actually is.
What wasn't the thing was like she got like herpes from him, and then
I have no idea.
I think that's what like,
allegedly.
we'll have to check, but spreading rumors here on YouTube.
Allegedly,
I think she like caught some kind of STD, and like then that's when she took her life.
wow.
Yeah, who knows? Anyways, but he's a legend. He had he started off. You ever watch him in Living Color?
Oh yeah,
Dude, Fire Marshal Bill.
Oh.
Let me tell you something. Dude, he was so good. He was just such a physical actor. Like it, you know, you watch those Ace Ventura movie. Those movies are at the time they were great. You watch them now, it's like a little much.
Yeah, they don't hold themselves up anymore.
But they are. There's still some fucking hilarious moments on it, you know. And he just does. He's great.
O.J. Simpson is in it.
In which one? The first one? Oh, the football, right? What was that with the Dolphins? With the yeah. I don't remember his part, but
I think it was a friend or something, a best friend of his or whatever.
But what was interesting about Jim Carrey is that he was about to give up on his dreams of being an actor. He wanted to break up into the movies.
He was a comedian already,
and he did stand up. I think he was already in Living Color, and he was trying to break into the movies, but he wasn't getting it. And then he had his famous like interview of he wrote a note to himself, or I think he wrote a check. He drew a $10 million check and with a date on it, and he carried it in his wallet for like I think years. Then I think I don't know if it was on the date or the year the date was written, like he gave himself like an expiration date, like this is only going to be good till whatever. Then he ended up getting that Dumb and Dumber movie for $10 million, like around that year that he gave himself. It was like a weird little like kind of like calling it, bringing it into reality. It was like one of those kind of things.
What would this world be like if Jim Carrey didn't do that and didn't become
Dumb and Dumber? How funny is that fucking movie? That entire movie.
I watched it the other day.
So did I. I watched it on my birthday.
Okay.
That weekend, 2 weeks ago.
Okay. I must have watched it around the same time.
It is like every line in that movie is a quote. You could take any scene, any fucking 4 sentences, and it's a fucking quote.
It's hilarious. The movie is hilarious. I watched it with my mom. My mom would just sit there and she would shake her head.
Dude, the opening scene, he pulls up in the limo. He's like, I'm trying to give a talk over here at the local college or whatever. And he's like, my driver's a bit lost. She's like, you want to go left, go left. He's like, lovely accent. New Jersey? She's like, Austria. Oh, Austria. No. Well then.
I think she says Australia or something.
Oh, yeah,
One or the other, and he says the opposite.
Yeah. He's like, Australia. He's like, well, good day, mate. Let's put another shrimp on the barbie.
And then he crawls back into
Oh man, dude.
He's a wild character.
What if he would have shot you in the face? He's like, that was a risk we're willing to take. I could go on and on with that movie. So good.
Yeah. No,
I got worms.
All that often.
I got worms. She's like, excuse me? That's what we're going to call it. I got worms. The puppet, the whatever. I killed it.
I know exactly what you mean. But there was I don't know. There are incredible people on this planet that had they made certain decisions, we would not have them. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. But then you know, you got to think. Okay,
how many other people have given up on their dream that we don't even know about?
Okay, but like, let's say Jim Carrey wasn't a thing. I kind of would like to believe there's somebody else that would have slipped into that category. I mean, what if Chris Farley would have never died? Like, you can go into these scenarios, but
he's alive still in another reality.
Maybe
not just ours.
All right, I'm gonna switch. We're gonna go whole different thing here. Got some things I wrote down. Okay, dude. We got to be careful. I hope we got to really wake up to advertising, okay, in the games that they're playing. I was at Costco the other day. We're walking by, and I shit you not, this blew my mind. So I hope I'm not building up too much. There's organic bed sheets
Oh my God.
Exactly. I go, these motherfuckers are just throwing the word organic on anything. It's straight organic bed sheets. Let that sink in. I go, what the fuck does this even mean? Organic, like, and somebody's gonna buy that because they're on that organic team. So I was like, dude, this is just straight up advertisement.
Yeah.
And who's fact checking them?
Yeah, who knows? It's probably made in China in the same factory where they make that other shit using the same material. They just printed a box that says organic.
I was honestly for like 10 minutes that stuck with me. I was like, dude,
Yeah.
and somebody's like,
so you bought it.
I did not buy it, dude. I wouldn't wait. Like, what the fuck do I get?
So what are you sleeping on? Synthetic bullshit?
Everyone's sleeping on mass-produced cotton.
Yeah.
So what are you telling me that you? What's the benefit
of sleeping on organic?
Yeah.
I don't know. Does organic mean more bugs got killed making the or less bugs got killed?
Exactly.
What does it actually mean that the cotton plant didn't receive?
And where's it going to stop? Organic shoes, organic socks.
We got those.
I get it. Like
flip flops.
We got like the recycled material shit, which is that's fine.
Yeah, your girl's bag.
But you're just slapping the word organic on shit. That's all I was saying.
Yeah.
And it made me think because there's another company called Orgain. Okay, the company is called Orgain. They make protein powders. Actually, I like it and I use it.
That's okay.
But does that not? How coincidental that it looks just like the word organic? It's organic without the IC. So you're gonna mean to tell me when you look at that product, you don't immediately think this is an organic product? It's not organic, but they fucking use their name Orgain. It's just fucking trickery.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I just hope people understand. I'm not hating the people that make it. Okay, I'm not hating on it because I understand the game.
There's this mass psychosis thing that occurs.
I just hope people realize that there's people playing games with wordplay and legal loopholes and just fucking be aware of it. That's all.
Do you actually think that there might be a girl out there that I can use the pickup line that, hey girl, you want some of this organic dick and you can get an Orgain? Or Orgain.
I see what you did there. A little orgasming.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly. That's what I tried. I failed miserably. Sometimes you land them, sometimes you don't.
I do think that'll work. I just think that we're gonna have
she has to be like a hippie bitch.
Dude, I just think they're slapping that word on anything and then just charging more for it, and then it's just like a business way. And there's some kind of legal loophole how they could even do it, and yeah, I don't know.
And what does it fucking mean?
Exactly. And
isn't everything organic?
But my first thought is, well, we pesticides and all that, but my first thought is like, who's checking on this? It's not USDA approved. It's a Food and Drug Administration. So you're starting to talk about fabrics that are organic. There's no checks and balances for that. That's straight up.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Would you purchase? I don't know. Would you purchase a toilet paper that's organic versus a toilet paper? When I think organic, like I don't want a toilet paper with like fucking wood chips in it. Like that would be a nightmare. Like this is organic and there's fucking wood chips in it. Fuck that.
All right. I had this crazy little thought. I was wearing my glasses the other day. I don't think we appreciate how cool glasses are. Think about it. It's glass that somehow fixes your vision. Right? Like how the fuck did we even come up with that? That if I bend this glass a certain type of way, like how do they make the different the ranges? Like I barely have bad eyes, so I have a really light script. And then if you look at somebody else's glasses, is it just a thickness thing? Like that's so crazy that we figured out how to bend the light to fix our eyes.
Yeah.
Right?
Very interesting.
Crazy. Whatever. Benjamin Franklin, I think, came out with the bifocals, if my history is correct.
Okay, that's who did it. He also gave us electricity.
Right. But I thought of, I think I was probably high at the moment, and I was like, man, glasses are like under. I mean, I think we're so evolved that, like, I'm sure when they came out, everyone was like, glasses, it was the coolest invention, right, to fix it. And then I started thinking about, do you think the people with back in the day when they had shitty vision, do you think they knew they had shitty vision, or they just thought everyone saw how they saw?
I would have to think that there was a point in time before we were completely civilized human beings that if some dumb fucking Mungo idiot walking through the plains picking up organic material from the floor, he had blurry vision. He felt like everyone else had the same type of blurry vision.
And didn't even know to, unless they're like, hey, you see that over there? And he's like, I can't see that over there. Well, you could see that? Maybe that's how they figured out. Like, hey, you see that antelope fucking 100 yards over there? And they're like,
what antelope?
I see it. It's blurry. It's a little blurry. They're like, what do you mean? I can see the antlers. I can count them.
And how would he know to use the word blurry?
True. Actually, when I said that, I thought about that immediately. I thought about that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's very interesting.
They probably thought it was some witchcraft while they can, that the gods didn't give them the fucking...
How about fucking now we have sunglasses that refract light so that you could see deep into the water. How about that? Where like it eliminates, so when the sun shines onto the water, that it bounces off the water and hits you right in the eye. But these sunglasses are able to block some type of UV light, so it doesn't affect your eye and you can see deep into the water. So you could put your worm with the hook and you could take that fucking dumb fish out of the water.
You could torture it
and bring them into a different reality and be like,
look at it.
I got you,
say,
bitch.
And then throw them back there a little bit more disabled. Now I can't eat properly. No, but hey, I was thinking about this too.
You know what? I fucking hate myself. I'm not going fishing. Jonathan?
I'm calling PETA.
Nope, we're not going fishing. We're actually going to put fish in the water.
Think about this. So, do you know why we have a blue sky?
Because of the way the light comes into our atmosphere?
Well, it bounces off the water and then it reflects up blue. From I could be wrong, but my understanding of why we have a blue sky is the light comes down, reflects off the...
Because what if I'm in the middle of Africa and there's no water around?
No, but there's still so much more water that it's covering. I know what you're saying, but I think that there's still so much more ocean. Actually, maybe, I don't know. I could be wrong. So let's say that's right, because this is where my line of thinking comes in. So if our atmosphere turns blue because of reflection off the water, but the water's clear, so maybe I am wrong. Because the water's clear, so where's the blue coming from?
No, I think so. These light rays come into our
But why is the Earth blue?
And the atmosphere, whatever gases are in the air, actually, it refracts and bounces off these different molecules that are in the air. And I don't know what I'm saying.
No, but all the space footage on Earth, the Earth has a blue hue.
Right. The blue planet.
Okay, but where's that blue coming from? Because the water is clear. Why does it look like blue water? Yeah. So it might be a light reflect.
It is a light thing. It has to do with the way the light comes into our atmosphere and then bounces off the gases that are in the air.
See, folks, two minds are always better than one.
Yeah.
We're bro science the fuck out of this.
Yeah. So if we do have a blue planet here, is it possible that there's a plaid planet somewhere else?
Well, they call Mars the red planet.
Yeah. That's kind of plaid.
Okay, I was just watching. Actually, this all ties in because it's UFOs and planets.
Okay.
On I think it was Amazon has a new little documentary, and they talk about just UFOs and it was a lot about the moon landing. Okay. So a lot of like Buzz Aldrin, those guys who went to the moon.
Yep.
There's a lot of recordings of them. Like, oh, you hear that? You see that? Yeah, it's really weird. And they were supposedly they weren't allowed. They were supposed to talk in code about things that they were seeing, or they weren't supposed to talk about it at all.
Interesting. Why?
Exactly. So they went on the dark side of the moon, and apparently there's a base there already.
Okay.
Have you ever heard about this?
I I have heard something, but nothing that I was willing to pay attention to or give any of my time to.
Yeah, I just like that stuff. I
know what you mean. I want it to be real.
I know.
Badly.
Yeah, right.
But I'm like, and why the fuck don't we ever get to see the dark side of the moon?
Right. Well, why aren't we going there again? Like, why don't we have more trips there? Is it because we already did everything that needs to be done there? I don't know. There's a conspiracy that we were told not to come back. That's why we haven't been there. I mean, I don't know. I like to have those little mental fun journeys, you know, thinking about those things.
Those experiments.
But the next question is, do you even think that they would divulge that information to us?
What benefit do they have
to tell us? Right. I don't think there is one.
You know, if everything in life pertains to a relationship, what benefit do they get on letting us know this info?
Right. And whoever funds those things, funds NASA, funds those things, they answer to somebody. So there's somebody who probably it's their job to make sure certain information doesn't come out.
And who are these people? Who is the deep state? Why do they keep the info for themselves? But is it truly for money? Is it like gain?
It's always about power control. Always. The Bible was used for power. It's always a power struggle. It's always a few trying to rule the many.
So as a humanity, we've never changed.
No. Well, that's where we're at, that breaking point. We're at the point where we have technology and abundance that the whole world can be taken care of, but we still have the old monkey domination brain of unfortunately the elite have that, where it's like we still want to control everyone else. So we're not going to allow certain technologies to come out, because then it gives like free power to everyone. The powers that be don't want us to have unlimited free power and all those things, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I think that it's a power control thing. They just and you asked who is it? Think about this. Think about like the dynasty families, like the Rothschilds, who've been in power for 200 years.
Okay.
Like the people who had power 100 years ago, maybe 200 years ago, where do you think their power went? It didn't just dissolve.
Exactly.
So it's those people. It's like old money that have the people who figured out that we can do a ruling class, like we can rule things in the shadows. It's those people. I'm like, I don't know. I know I'm just like saying real blanketed shit, and I don't really know who it is either. But I think there's groups of people who are just old power, and it's always family, and that's why like the royals always inbred. They wanted to keep their blood and everyone inside. I'm sure it's things like that. It's like certain families, certain dynasties, it's like they run shit, and they know that they're shadow. They're taught that we operate in the shadows, and we own the politicians. Let the people think that the politicians are making these rules and regulations, but it's really us, and it's the bankers, and it's the people it's the money. Money always controlled everything. So whoever owned the gold and owned the money had the power. It's always been the thing. In land and whatever, it's always been power. So I think those people who amassed the wealth in those days, they didn't just let it go. It didn't just go. Like the mafia is still around.
Definitely.
They didn't just fucking let all that money and power go. They don't just walk into places and beat up people with bats anymore. They're doing a lot smarter.
Right, they'll sue the fuck out of you.
Yeah, exactly. And all those like mafiosos had kids. Some of those kids probably went legit, but with the mafia mentality. And it's like, oh, let's own these lawyers and own all these fucking people and these businesses, because we could still do rackets, but we'll do it legally.
Yeah, and just a whole different, right? They went into streets and sanitation. They went into you know what I mean? The contractors of America,
right?
That's all mobs.
Or they started banks. I think all the powers that be, they figured out like, oh, we'll just own the money, and the way banks work, from what I understand, is like if you own a bank, you have the right to like print money. So every dollar that you have, I think you're allowed to give out $10 of credit. So every bank only has like a tenth of actual like money for what they loan out, and there's
physical cash.
I don't know all the ins and outs of our economics, but I know there's like something with that was like they only had to have $1 and they're allowed to print out 10 more.
Right.
That backs it up.
This is what causes inflation.
Right.
And this is why we're here. Right, because
apparently they're trying to lie, saying we're not in inflation right now. It's like, I'm telling you, I'm fucking right when it comes to this Joe Biden shit. They're gonna let him ruin. They're gonna put all the blame on Joe Biden's singularity, and then he's gonna die in a couple years. And then all the COVID and all the ruining that's happening right now is gonna die with Joe Biden in a couple years. And Listen, have nothing to do with it. I'm not saying anything bad about trying to kill the president. That's not what we're saying here. He's just old as fuck. He's decrepit and he's definitely on a decline. And I think there's people who know that and they're going to push all the blame on him because he's on the way out the door. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
In my bones.
Here's the one thing that I think. The internet has an ability to remember. Like there's nothing that you can put out there in the webs, in the interwebs, that somebody doesn't snatch and hold, or it's sitting in some type of storage.
Let me push back. I hear what you're saying. I think our memory is shit. I think you could show people those very videos and it still won't change anything.
Right.
We can go back to the COVID videos talking about, they're FDA approved. There's people talking about that when it wasn't. They're saying, there's Biden saying, if you get the vaccine, you will not catch it. You won't get the virus. People have seen that, and there's still people talking about it, and nothing. It doesn't matter. I think our attention span is fucking 2 seconds, and I think you could show all the fucking Clinton videos and all the Hillary fucking death body counts and have all the facts and still show people, and they just don't give a fuck. I don't think we're going to learn much. I hope the general public learned something from this whole COVID and this whole lockdown and what not to do, but I don't think that we really learned from it.
Right. I think there is a faction of our human community that go through life and they have zero understanding of the nuances that go around, that happen in their around area. You know what I'm saying? Like what happens around them, they're so clueless to it.
They're like horses with tunnel vision.
But I think there are the few people that will not forget, especially now that we have the internet, where they can continue to make videos about certain stuff. They are the creative people that they are not, I feel like they're not going to let you forget. Yeah. They're going to bring shit up. Like this September 11th stuff, we still talk about it.
There's so much shady shit with that.
We know that there was some bullshit that went on.
I don't think a lot of people think that, though.
I think... No, I really feel like a lot of people are like, yes, it was an inside job. But because it was such a long time ago and there's so much new shit happening, we don't have time to worry about the stuff that's already happened. But I think that when they figure out that, I heard Jordan Peterson say something that it impacted me, and it allowed me to change my mentality about certain things. It said, people who are in power, the way they take your freedom is they put pressure until you complain and then they back off. And then they put more pressure until you get angry and then they back off. And they slowly encroach on your freedom until you realize they've pushed you so far back, you're all alone, you don't have any freedoms, and you're living in a cage.
Right. I think every so often they do little feelers of what they can get away with.
Yeah.
Now, do you remember when they were going to start trying to tax websites? Remember, like, I don't know, like 6, 7, 8 years ago?
That was like in It's probably like,
And then everybody on Facebook was like copy and pasting that thing. It's like, oh, it's just like, I think that was the government's little feeler. Like, hey, we're going to tax the internet. We're going to make it a little more. And then everybody was like, nah, fuck you, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, okay, that's too far.
2016.
Is that when it was?
I think it was.
And so I think they do things like that. So I think there was a place in Illinois, I don't know what town it was, that I think they did their first like no knock warrants or something.
No knock warrants.
I think it was like maybe.
You mean they just come in?
Right. I think they made some town like they changed some kind of rule. I know I'm fucking it up somehow, but I think they do certain things and they'll test it in these little areas, because if nobody talks about it in this little area, then maybe we could spread it out to the next area,
right?
And we can start. Yeah. So I think they do things like that. I think they'll take as much as you give them, and we gave them so much during this pandemic because they used fear. They use the fear of the future of the unknown to fuck with us. They understand the human brain.
Yeah, why do they do that exactly? Do you know?
To just get more power. It always boils back down to they wanted more power. They just want to get more and more power to tell you what you can and can't do, what you can and can't say.
Yeah. They scare you to the point where you think, who can help us? Oh, the government. And then you go to them and they're like, ha, 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 ha.
Right.
This is what we're going to do. We have to take certain freedoms from you.
Right.
In order to protect you.
We're going to need, listen.
Do you think that's why crime is so high? Because they want to enact possibly some deeper, stronger, more encroached laws that will allow us to do less things? That will take, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, I don't know, maybe like you're not able to leave your neighborhood if you had a warrant.
Right.
Or you've been in jail, so now you can't leave a certain area.
I don't know if there's like a coordinated effort.
There has to be, bro. There's this thing called the World Economic Forum where all the leaders meet once a year and talk about shit. What the fuck do they talk about?
Yeah, I know. Well, do you know like the whole George Soros thing?
Yeah.
So that's kind of interesting because like
what is it though? What is George Soros? Who is he? What?
He's a billionaire.
Okay.
Who's made it his life goal to destroy America.
And why exactly would he want to destroy this beautiful, glorious, awesome country?
I think he's just trying to like. I don't really know the exact. I don't know if he's trying to get socialism. I don't know if that's the game plan or is it just the Joker where it's like he just wants to fuck it up for the sake of fucking it up. I don't know. But apparently he's put billions of dollars into, he's bought and got people into office, like certain district attorneys who are letting out all these criminals who are like all these like violent criminals are getting let out of jail. I think that's part of the plan to disrupt society. That was just part of it, So
usually these big, giant mega people, what they would like to do, in my imagination, is they want to fuck up what is standard right now, what's happening right now, how the world works right now. They want to fuck it up to the point that people are going to be like, we need a different system.
Right.
So once you take this system away, what the fuck are you going to replace it with? And how does it look? If this man, George Soros, who has possibly, right, has his own idea of how the planet should be run, right? Who the fuck is he to think that his idea is better than what's already happening?
Well, I think something happens to when you get certain type of wealth,
right,
especially in the billions, you think of yourself as a different human. You think of yourself as a higher human being than the other people that you know better.
Higher power.
You think of yourself as I know better than you. I'll tell you. You don't even. I know better than you. I'll tell you what you need to do. I think it's that. I think it's like these. They want to shape the world in their vision because they know better. In their, that's what they think.
They're like, I can help. I made it this far. I have great ideas, right? I think I can make the world a better place. But so these are the same people who came up with the vaccine for COVID. Like, it didn't work. It didn't work. And now all the things that we knew early on that they were trying to hide from us are all coming out. Like now, Newsweek reported some stuff, right? And there's been a bunch of newspapers printing stuff where now it's possible that it was a lab leak. Now it's possible that, there's people from the White House who are part of the medical staff there that they are admitting that they knew that these vaccines were not effective.
I think you said they didn't work. I think they worked a little bit. I think there's people. I think the vaccines probably saved some lives.
You're right.
I think it had its purpose for like the elderly,
And
and the fat. And I think some people probably had the vaccine, got sick, and probably didn't die because they had the vaccine. I think me and you both agree that the far majority of people don't even need it. But I think it helped a little bit. But then you talk about the efficacy, I don't know what the word is. And it only lasts for 3 months. You're only like protected for 3 to 6 months. And that's it. But I think what's fucking crazy about it is that like how Pfizer doesn't want to come out with their studies for 75 years.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Hold on. Don't gloss over that. Say that one more time.
Yeah. So Pfizer is fighting to have all their stats, everything that they come out with.
So Pfizer did a study on their vaccines.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And these vaccine studies that they did, they have all the real information. They know exactly the study, word for word, like day by day, person by person, who they injected. They know what occurred to each of them inside their body on a molecular level. They have this info. Now, the government is like, we want you to release that information. Now, they went to the court systems and they were like, hey, do you think that this information that we have, that's the truth behind all of COVID, can we wait on releasing it? And the government was like, well, how much time do you need? How much time do you want to hold it back before you release it? They were like, 75 years.
Isn't it like, okay, even just think of it very objectively. Like if you're on no team, you're not, think of it the most unbiased person. Why would a company do that? Obviously they're hiding something. So it's like, and then 75 years, isn't it just long enough that everyone involved won't get fucked?
They'll be dead. They'll be dead and gone.
There'll be no one liable. Yeah, man. There's so much. That's such a joke.
Why would you put your trust in a company that they have insurance companies insure their vaccines, they insure their medications, so where they put it out there as fast as they can to be able to make as much money as possible. Like let's say they make $3 billion. Then they have some medical problems where people get hurt in some way or even die. They sue the pharmaceutical company. If they made $3 million off this company, they would only get sued $75,000. So even though they take now that medicine off the market, they still made $3 billion and only got they only had to pay back $75,000 worth on it.
No, Pfizer had the biggest case on the biggest lawsuit. They had to pay out billions.
Okay, they pay out billions, but that's billions. That's a fraction.
Yeah, right.
Of what they made.
If they made $15 billion and they had to pay out $7 billion out, it's still a great business model.
It's an amazing business model. So they continue to create this business model because they don't give a fuck about us.
And know what's kind of crazy is that there's no third party that tests. Pharmaceuticals are in charge of their own testing.
That's so fucked up.
So when they give out information, it's all cherry picked. It's like when they go to the FDA and say this is their own checks and balances. They can't. How is that going to work? How are you going to be? How is a company going to be its own checks and balances, and then they're not going to want to? They're not going to say, "Oh no, we're not going to. We can't come out with this product."
Yeah. So check this. Check out how crazy this is. What Dino said. So let's say a company like Pfizer. Pfizer will do 10 studies on some medication they create. Right. 8 of those studies say this medication is bad. It's not going to work. But 2 of them are like it's possible. They'll use only those 2.
Right.
To peer review those papers so that they can release their information, their product.
But then
they pick it.
But then they'll have the doctors and all these people that they have in their pocket to make sure they can sign off on it.
Yeah. And then your doctor goes out there and he medicates all these people with the bullshit drug that now you're addicted to that you have to buy because you cannot live without it now.
Did you watch Dope Sick yet on Hulu?
No.
Everyone needs to watch it.
It's Dope Sick on Hulu?
Yes.
Watch it, people.
It is the blueprint of exactly how pharmaceuticals think, how they operate. They buy people. They put people in the FDA. It's this whole revolving door of.
I imagine it's the same fucking story of every single drug that's ever been out there, down to Pablo Escobar.
And it's not ever reported on. You don't hear about it in the news. You know why? Because pharmaceuticals give they're 75% of all cable networks' advertising revenue. So think about that. Pharmaceuticals give 75% of all the commercials ever seen on TV. So when a newscast has a hot new take on a pharmaceutical company that fucking fucked over people, they're not gonna let that story.
Why would they talk about it?
Exactly.
It's their bosses. You're not gonna talk bad about
that
your
story.
boss.
And the journalists, they do their part and they report on it, but then somebody has to give the clearance to air it on TV. That person's already told pharmaceuticals are off limits. You know what I'm saying?
It's incredible.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
We're kind of fucked, but
we're fucked. Wherever you go, people keep your eyes open and watch Dope Sick on
Hulu. That's
on
a good
Hulu.
one. All right, man. Everyone, we thank you. We love you. Appreciate you guys. Give us a little thumbs up. Give us a share. If you want to be a guest on the show, say something in the comments. Say, I want to be a guest, and we'll get you on. Maybe. All right. Peace.
All right, everybody. Bye.